Well, welcome everybody to today's show. We are so glad you've joined us, and we have a great crew today. I have my co-host, my sidekick, Cowboy Mike.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Saturday. 92 I think we're going to be
Oh,
today. So
wow.
I did say I had the news on and they said Phoenix was 110 and supposed to be 112, and remember we're still in winter, right?
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It came quick,
It
didn't it? It
came
was
quick.
cool
Sure
and then
did.
it just got hot. Well, then I have my other two return guests, and these two were here 2 weeks ago. You were on our very first podcast we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you were very special.
Yeah, we're so happy to be back. Thanks for
I'm
having
so
us.
glad you're back,
And
too.
unfortunately, we're heading down to Phoenix this afternoon.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
short
Catching
weather.
on that heat.
Nice. Nice. So tell everybody your company name is High Energy, right? And introduce yourselves and just give them a little bit of background about you.
So yes, we are High Energy. You can find us online at hienergylife.com. And we are metabolic health researchers and nutrition coaches. So if there's anything that you've been struggling with your health and want to get to the root of how do we solve it with food, that's where we come into to play and help you out.
And if you give us a call, my name's Carly, and this is Alex.
That's right. And why don't we give them your phone number because you're going to want to write this down right now. We'll give it to you a couple times. We want to make sure you get their number.
Yes, definitely. So our number is 920-215-0305.
All right. And we'll give you that a couple more times. So when we were on before, we talked about a lot of things, but you guys just attended a metabolic conference.
Yes.
Talk about that for a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were over in Las Vegas, the land of conferences, and it was all about metabolic health, which we talked a little bit about last time. So I believe there's a recorded podcast that you can find somewhere. So I won't go over the metabolic health aspect. But one of the really core themes of the weekend was all about food, nutrition, and mental health. And it really hits home for seniors in the know because actually, overall, of all demographics, seniors have the highest rate of depression.
Imagine that.
And so it's all about how do you how do you get nutrition to fuel your brain? And so one of my favorite panels of the weekend, there were three people on the panel. One was a guy about my age, so probably mid-30s, and two others were close to retirement age. And for years they had struggled. Actually, the two older, there's an older woman and an older man, and both of them had struggled with debilitating depression for years.
Actually, she had bipolar disorder, so I think he had depression.
Okay, and then the 30-year-old guy had bipolar as well.
Yes.
30-year-old guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
30
Well, he was
years.
actually younger than that when it first
Wow.
came on. I think he was a sophomore in college, so what, 20?
Yeah, and so, of course, as anybody would and should do, is they went to their doctor, went to a neurologist, and they ended up getting lots of prescription medications, and especially when it comes to depression and anxiety,
Right?
medication doesn't always work, but for those that it does, what it does is it numbs your emotions.
Right.
And so, yes, it brings you out of, to a certain extent, that depression you may be feeling because it is very debilitating and awful to struggle through that. But it also dampens your happy emotions. And so you go through life not really feeling a whole lot at all. So they really didn't enjoy that. And they were still struggling even though they were on so many medications. And then they stumbled upon metabolic health and certain nutrition patterns that they tried these out, and over time most of them have been able to completely get off their medications and they're feeling amazing.
Mm,
And it's all coming down to nutrition.
wow.
And part
What's
of
even
it
more interesting too is that when they found this new way of eating, and when they deviate from that, their mental health takes a hit from that, so they kind of revert back to where they were. So that's kind of
Right.
an interesting piece.
Mm.
And a really fun thing is, even if you're not struggling with a diagnosable mental health struggle, another really fun thing is with this way of eating, a very nutritious way of eating, is scientists used to think that by your 20s, all of your neurons are fully grown and all of the connections between your neurons are pretty much completed. You are who you are.
In your brain.
In your brain. That's actually changing now. What we're finding is even well into old age, 80s and 90 years old, you can actually regrow new neurons.
That's right.
But there's only a few ways to do this. You need a molecule, a hormone called BDNF. You don't have to remember that. But there's only a few ways to really get lots of this metabolic miracle of regrowing your neurons. One of them is hydration. You have to have the right water. You have to have amazing filtered water, so you're getting rid of impurities. That's one of them.
So that's a reason why you go down to H2O Health down at the Pine Ridge Marketplace,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
right, and learn about clean, healthy water from Vicki Johnston.
Yep. Another one is you need great sleep.
You need great sleep.
A third is exercise. We all need exercise. That can greatly increase that BDNF. And the fourth one is a little molecule called a ketone, and a type of fuel that we don't eat. We eat carbs and we eat fats. We don't eat ketones, but we have to be in a right metabolic state for our liver to produce ketones. And when you can produce ketones, you have to be eating very nutritious foods. You produce lots of BDNF, and you can regrow those neurons.
You can. You absolutely can. Today, my class this afternoon, which we've changed our class time, it's usually at this hour, but we've changed it to 1 o'clock, and I'm teaching on sleep. And I'm teaching on, I guarantee you, if you come to my classes, you hear things nobody's ever told you before. Because I, too, have been quite the researcher over the years, and but sleep is vital to your health. And you have to stay asleep. You can't get up and go back to bed and get up and go back to bed. Can't have that interrupted sleep through the night. So I try to help people learn, and you do have to learn this, and a lot of it has to do with the brain. A ton of it has to do with the brain, because you have to retrain your brain that you are going to sleep all night long. You're not going to get up all night. And it is training for sure. But growing those neurons, and the other thing, of course, is sunshine. Sunshine is amazing to help your brain, helps everything across the board. And your body does have to have fuel. And where do we get that fuel? The fuel's minerals, right? And where do we get those? Food and water.
Yep.
That's it. It really comes down to a pretty simple process, but we don't think about it. And you said, Mike, you were moving yesterday. You didn't eat all day long, right? 6:30 to like 9:30?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a snack. But you're right. No, I really didn't, because we were going, right? I mean, it was just, there was no time, and the movers were there, and where do we put things, and we're running back and forth. And
Right.
yeah.
So I bet you were tired.
I was, but I still didn't sleep. So.
And you didn't sleep. You have to eat. You have to feed your body. And one thing I've shared, and you guys probably know this, and this is the biggest mistake I think seniors make. They don't eat, or they grab, and because they don't cook anymore. And if there's one of you, and especially if you're used, like I had 5 kids, so we were always cooking big meals. Now it's just 2 of us. And it's a change. It's a real change to have to start learning, because at first it was still cooking for 5, and then I was like, oh, we're wasting too much food. But it's hard to cook for 1 if you're by yourself, or even just 2, and especially if you're working. You're working all day, you come home at 5 o'clock, and you're tired, you don't want to cook, right? So what do? We grab the box, the bag, or the can, right? And just open something up, but that's not food. That's not food, is it?
Definitely not. No, think about the nutrients that you need to build the structures in your body and to energize your body. And that doesn't come from a box, and it doesn't come from takeout.
No.
Oh, man.
Sad. Like you said, the sad standard American diet. That's what it's called now.
Yeah.
And
Makes you sad.
interesting, it does make you sad when you start to realize you can't cheat your body. And that is what we're doing. You're cheating it out of what it needs to stay healthy, and the brain is so vital. It's got to have fuel just like all the other,
Yeah, I call that
molecules.
the disease of ease.
The disease of ease.
Yes, it's so easy to fall into that trap, but it's not going to serve you well.
No, it's not.
You do mention that after a long day of working, whether it's mental labor or physical labor, you are tired when you get home. And the last thing you want to do is cook a meal. But that is something that Carly specializes in. So really, I should let her talk about it. But ultimately, once you start fueling your body correctly, you have more energy at the end of a long day to be able to make a meal to replenish yourself. So it's really about, let's get over that hump, that activation energy, and get in the habit of fueling correctly. And then in the future, it becomes easier and easier and easier. And when it comes to cooking, Carly didn't even know she liked cooking until she met me.
And I had to, out of necessity. We had to cook from scratch because all the stuff that was made at the store had things that Alex couldn't eat because of his gut dysbiosis. So, but,
And she discovered she loved it. And that's what we find is many of our clients, once they start exploring in the kitchen and start experimenting, they discover it's actually really kind of fun.
And tasty, too.
It
I mean,
is.
it doesn't have to taste bad.
No, it doesn't. It's actually delicious. We got to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to pick your brain and we're going to find out what are some easy ways to get good nutrition. So don't go away. We'll be right back. I'm Vicki Johnston, and we are back. And yes, I work down at the H2O store most of the time. If you want to meet me or talk or have a question, please come down there and see us. Today, I'm teaching this afternoon at 1 o'clock on sleep. Who doesn't need more sleep? And sound sleep, right? So, and I have my guest today. I have Cowboy Mike.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
And I have Alex and Carly. They are from High Energy
Nutrition coaching.
I knew that, but I wanted to give them your website, highenergylife.com.
Yes.
That's your
HI.
website.
Yep.
And you guys help people with nutrition, and you help them educate. You're educators, right? You're teachers. You're sharing your information that you've been. How many years have you been at this?
We've been researching for about 10 years, and we're officially a company for about 2.
Okay. So everything's changing, isn't it? And you see that in your 10 years. It's what we thought 10 years ago was good is not, right? Now it's all changing. So I want you, Carly, to start giving us some of your greatest tips. You better get a pen and paper to write this down because she's got some really cool stuff.
And the best part, though, they can go to the archives probably on Monday, right, and watch the show again and write it down.
That's right. It'll be on
Nice.
kyca.info, and we're live streaming today. And, yep, go back and watch the show. So if you miss something, you can get it. So I'm going to let you loose.
Yeah, so some of my favorite quick meals. Some of them don't even involve cooking, but one of my favorite go-tos is a mason jar omelet. So you basically take 2 eggs, some cottage cheese, a little bit of butter, and then some frozen vegetables, so they're already cooked. You put it in a mason jar, you mix it up, and you put it in the microwave for 90 seconds. And then, boom, you have a perfect omelet that you can eat in the car. You can take it on a walk with you. Sometimes I'll even put all the ingredients together and I'll freeze them that way, so I can make like a dozen or 2 dozen at once. And then I just thaw it and pop in the microwave.
Nice.
So that's one of my go-tos for breakfast always. You don't need a stove. It's great for hotels or travel. Another one that I lean on a lot.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a mason jar. Is this a
Yes.
quart mason jar or a pint mason jar?
Just your regular old like 12-ounce mason jar.
Little
Nothing special.
pint.
Yep, you just want to make sure you remove the metal lid before you
Yeah,
put it in the microwave.
And you're going to put it in the microwave and no
Yeah,
lid.
or you really have some
Right?
excitement
Yes.
in there, won't you?
And I just take 2 eggs,
Yep.
some whatever veggies I like.
Yep.
Can
And you
I-
want to make sure those veggies are either pre-sauteed, or if you buy frozen vegetables, they're already pre-steamed.
Blanched.
Yes, so they're
Blanched a
cooked.
little bit. The
Um,
rawer the better, the more
yes.
nutrients. So are we going to put a little cheese in it too?
Yeah, so I like cottage cheese. It makes it nice and creamy, but you could certainly do like shredded mozzarella or pepper jack. You could put feta.
Whatever
really,
you
the sky's
like.
the limit. Pretty
Whatever
much.
you like. Little salt and pepper.
Yep. You could add some sausage coins in there, ground beef. Really, yeah. it's
Whatever
very
you
versatile.
like. And just put it in the microwave for 90 seconds.
Yep. Or
So-
sometimes it takes like 2 minutes or 2.5. It depends on your microwave and how hot it gets.
And so when I take it out, am I eating it right out of the jar?
I do.
Yeah,
I mean, you
just
could
get a
certainly put it in
spoon?
a bowl if you wanted to, but yeah, I'm lazy and I don't like doing dishes, so I just eat it right out of the jar with a spoon.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a great one. I've never heard that one.
Yeah,
That's terrific.
yeah, that one's a lifesaver, especially if you're in a hurry in the morning. That one's super quick, and I'll just prep like a whole week's worth. So every morning I just have that ready.
I'm not a big fan of a microwave, but I think I could actually do that one.
Yeah, it's a nice way to meet you where you're at.
Yeah, I don't even own a microwave. Don't even have one, but I
I mean, you could do it in the oven too. It
got
just
a
take
little toaster
longer.
oven. Could put it
Yeah,
in that,
Yeah,
right?
certainly take more than 90 seconds, but absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And that brings up actually a really good point about coaching and working with our clients in there's a way to technically be perfect, but nobody's ever perfect. And
there,
we're
though?
all working around
I
our
like it.
lifestyles
Yeah.
and our contexts. And so for us
Baby
as
steps towards better.
coaches,
That's right.
Yeah.
Baby steps. You know, it's hard to make that
Mhm.
big, huge change, and it's better than nothing. It's
Mm-hmm.
way better than nothing. You can't, and I think breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You know, back in the day when my mom and dad were, young and we were young, steak and eggs was breakfast.
Oh, it still should be.
And
Maybe
it
add
should
some
be.
avocado, but
It
yeah.
should be, because you need that protein to get your fuel. Talk about fuel. And that's the biggest mistake seniors make. They don't eat enough protein.
absolutely.
Yes, please skip the oatmeal for breakfast. You can have it, just don't have it for breakfast. Have it for
And tell 'em
dessert.
why. Tell them why you don't have oatmeal for breakfast.
Well, it's very rich in carbohydrates.
That's right.
So oats are a grain, which are made of starch, and starch gets broken down into sugar.
Turns right straight to sugar.
And that's aside from any brown sugar or fruit or toppings that you put on there. So a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast is essentially a glorified piece of birthday cake for breakfast.
Just like any kind of box cereal.
yes,
Same thing.
cereal,
It's just horrible.
granola, all of that.
Orange juice. Orange juice
Yes.
is loaded with sugar.
That's pretty
not
much all it
breakfast.
is sugar water.
Yeah, it's not breakfast.
Yep.
That's dessert. You're right.
Yes.
You're
So
right.
the morning is the worst time to have those starchy sugars and carbohydrates.
That's
So
right.
if you're going to have those, if you really love your oatmeal, just don't have it for breakfast. Have it, after your dinner for dessert, because that will at least help regulate your blood sugar. So that's kind of a way where you can, in a way, have your cake and eat it too. a little
Right.
bit.
So what? And I teach people with that, especially when you're going to do any kind of high sugary or high starch food, protein. Got to
Yes.
protein. So add nuts to that. Oatmeal. Get bacon. Have bacon. Have meat with it. You got to have some
Yes,
protein with
yeah.
it. Some cottage cheese
Yep.
even with it. Yogurt with it. You got to have that protein too, and not a sugary, sweetie yogurt. A real healthy probiotic kind of yogurt.
Yep. Plain. I like to sweeten mine myself, so I just
Yeah.
buy the plain, full-fat Greek yogurt, so it's
That's
a little
right.
higher in protein, and I'll add like vanilla extract. And if you want a little extra sweetness, you can do honey, or squished berries is another good one. I just buy the frozen berries and I kind of thaw them a little bit and squish it, and it makes like a wonderful kind of fresh jelly.
Yeah. And you need fat. You mentioned fat. You
Yes.
got to have fat. Your brain needs fat.
Yes.
That's why people are getting Alzheimer's and dementia. Not enough healthy fats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's another whole show all by itself. Hey, I'll give you one quick tip on eggs too. When eggs are on sale, and I buy the ones that are actually run on the grass. We talked about that on our first show.
Pasture raised.
Yeah, you want pasture raised, not natural eggs. All eggs are natural. Not
Yeah, I love that phrase.
Yeah, not cage
It's a
free.
marketing claim.
Cage free just means the door's open for 10 minutes a day, and they could walk out if they wanted to.
And they usually don't.
And they don't because they're trained. And besides that, the cages are way up off the ground, but they can get down. But anyway, with eggs, I buy them when they're on sale. If I don't get them from a local person, which I love to get them from the local people, and you can crack them open and you could freeze them.
Yes.
So I throw them in the blender, and if I want to make omelets with them, and just freeze them, and I pour them in an ice cube tray, and freeze the ice cube tray, and then crack them out in a Ziploc bag or a container, stick them in the freezer. Now, when you want to have a couple eggs, and you can put your salt and pepper and whatever else you want in it, if you want, and freeze them. And now just take 2 or 3, put them in the pan, fry up some eggs real quick.
So that's basically that mason jar omelet that I described. It's just without the vegetables.
And it's
so the
ready.
mason jar omelet, when you freeze it, that's what it is. So I actually, when I freeze my eggs, I get one of those big square silicone ice cube trays, and I just crack it in there whole. So I like my yolk a little bit runny. So I do it that way, and that way I can still have the runny yolk, but the whites get cooked even when it's frozen.
And you got the silicone containers with the little lid on them.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept.
Yeah,
it's
same
just
thing.
instead of blending it up, I'm just leaving it whole, just cracking it in.
And you can do it that way, but I've always just blend them up to make scrambled eggs or omelets, either one. And I just put the cubes right in I put the coconut oil in the pan because that's a good healthy fat, perfect triglyceride. It's also a great antibiotic. So
And it's delicious.
And it's delicious and it's good for you. It really is. It's awesome. I tell a story in the store about coconut oil, but I won't start it now because probably got to go to a break pretty quick. But another quickie thing, I want you to tell them about your next one.
Which one was that? Was that the sardines?
The roll-ups.
The roll-ups. Yeah, so that's one of my favorites for if I'm like on a long car ride or a picnic. I need a good like lunchbox meal. So you pretty much take any sort of deli meat, and you'll want to look at the ingredients there to make sure there's no naughty stuff in there. Try to choose one. Yes, no nitrates. Try to choose one that's low sugar. Any sort of carrageenan or fillers, you want to try to minimize that. So any sort of lunch meat, whether it's ham, turkey, roast beef, you could even do smoked salmon. You're going to smear some cream cheese on there, or you could do boursin, which is kind of like a fluffy European cheese that has like chives and onions that's flavored. And then you can put fresh veggie sticks in there. You could put capers, and you pretty much just roll it up. Oh, pickles and sauerkraut are another good one in there.
So what am I rolling it up in?
So it's kind of like a sushi roll. So you put the meat down first with the cheese and the veggies, and then you roll it up. So it makes like a little pinwheel.
I see.
The meat is what holds it all together.
Yes, that's on the outside. So it's like a little log.
I
And it's all
gotcha.
rolled up.
All right, that's an easy one.
Yes.
Right? And Costco has the salmon in the little squares, that you can actually get.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite flavors to do is I'll do roast beef, cream cheese, and sauerkraut, and then you can do some Swiss cheese in there too, and you roll it up, and it's like a little Reuben. So that one's really tasty. And a nice way to get in your fermented foods if you don't love those. It's a nice way to ease into it.
All right. Tell us another one.
Let's see. Sardines are really good. So the thing there is if you're venturing into the world of sardines, you really need to get quality sardines. The cheap ones are going to have that kind of yucky fish market flavor. It's just not going to be as good. So you want to get a high quality brand of sardines, and you want them packed in water instead of oil. And then I will just put that on a piece of like sprouted grain bread, so like Ezekiel bread. You can do some cheese, and I kind of just do an open face sandwich. Maybe with some like garlic on there. You could toast it in your little toaster oven. But that's another really quick meal that
That's
you
a
could
great
do.
one.
Yeah,
That's a
especially
great
for
one.
dinner. If you don't want to cook a lot, it's the same amount of work as making a pizza, really.
Right.
But, yeah.
So another one you mentioned is a crock pot.
Yes, I love the crock pot.
Me too. That's my favorite go-to.
Yes. So you can do like a full-blown meal that's ready to eat. Like there's tons of soup recipes out there. For me, my favorite way to use it is I batch cook my protein. So I'll get like a whole chicken or a chuck roast, and I just make a bunch of meat, and then I'll take it off the bone, I'll shred it, and I'll freeze it like that. And I freeze it in like little Ziplocs, so I have single servings. So when I'm ready, I can just take that out of the freezer thaw, and I have protein that's high quality, and it's cooked, so I don't have to worry about it. So you just throw it in, and it's ready to go.
and then you keep all the bones and the
Yes.
connective tissue, the
Yes,
collagen,
don't throw that out.
and make
please.
bone broth.
Yes.
So you must buy organic.
Yes, ideally.
Yeah.
I still think conventional meat is better than no meat in a diet, but yes, if you can afford it and have the means, organic is great. If you can swing it, local, regeneratively raised.
Right.
My gold standard for buying meat is the ROC, Regenerative Organic Certified. So that's a certification that wraps together organic and regenerative practices together into one. It
Nice.
is harder to find on meat and egg labels, but it is becoming more popular.
So back in the day, and I have these because I'm from back in the day, they had these tiny little crock pots, about like this, just little bitty
Oh no, I'm
things.
talking the big boy, like
Yeah.
at least the 5 or 6 quart.
So I had a little lady come in my store, and she did not cook, and I have lots of crock pots. I love them. And I had an extra, very little, just a small one, and I gave it to her because she was so frail and she was not eating because she's living alone and she didn't cook. And I said, you have got to cook. So I gave her this little crock pot and I showed her, potatoes. This is a sweet potato, but it's a purple sweet potato, right? Organic. You see that little label right there? It says organic. That's what you always want to look for. When you eat organic food, you won't eat as much food because you'll get fuller faster of the nutrients. But you could just take down, this one would make about almost 3 meals for one person. But these
I said that's
are
like 4.
delicious.
But depends on how hungry you are, I guess.
Yeah, and all you do, you just cut it, wash it good, and don't even take the skins off. Just cut it up in a couple pieces, or cook them all at once if you want, and then have them for a couple days. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you a couple other great little things you can throw in that crock pot real quick and easy. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Oh, welcome back, everybody. I have my wonderful guests, Alex, Carly, and Cowboy Mike.
Hey, everybody, how are you? And hey, Vicki, we got to do a shout out for H2O Health because they're sponsoring our show.
They
so,
do.
You want to learn about water, clean water, healthy living, please go down to Pine Ridge Marketplace. And I can tell you their systems work. I'm on system 2. Vicki just set me up on my new house. But, a quick story was on my old house, I ran irrigation. Everything's running through just the natural well. And so I planted trees about the 2 acres behind me, and I planted trees out there while I was lazy, and I've never tapped the irrigation into them, so I pull a hose out there, but I'm running off my house that's running through the H2O system. And my trees, so I had a landscaper plant 48-inch boxes, and I bought 10-gallon trees. So we're talking right in the back 40, very small. My 10-gallon trees are bigger than the 48-inch boxes, and they're 2 years newer than that, and it's because of the hydrogen coming out of the H2O Health system. So it's just amazing how it changes everything. And then, of course, give them a little story about the tree, because you guys always dump it in the water out of the store.
Right. We have water outside our store for all the walkers and anybody walking through the mall. So at night, when we're going to close, they take the leftover water and they put it in the tree. There's a tree outside our door, and it's just mammoth. And, I mean, all the others in the mall are dwarfs compared to it. It's at least 3 times bigger. And, I mean, it's just so healthy looking. So the proof's in the pudding, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And they do water it. They have people that come in and water, so it's still drinking city water too. But that good, healthy, mineral-rich, hydrogen-rich water, like he's saying, it's just incredible for anything living. And that's us, right?
That's it.
We heard the same thing actually on a podcast we were listening to yesterday about the hydrogen water and houseplant that grew just 3-4 times faster than they had ever seen a plant grow.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, water matters. Nothing matters to your body more than water. We are water. Our eyes are 90% water. It can believe that. You know what the rest of our eyes are? Cholesterol. Fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Cholesterol is a
need fat.
nutrient.
It's vital.
You need fat, and we are cutting our cholesterol way too low, and that's why heart attacks are not just the number 1 killer in America, in the world. Number 1. That's the number 1 killer, heart disease and heart attacks, if you can believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, because everybody's cutting out the fat. You need fat, but you need the good stuff, right?
More than 50% of heart attacks are in people that have low cholesterol.
That's right.
So it's not about cholesterol, it's about metabolic health, and is your body able to use the nutrient of cholesterol properly?
A new study just came out that shows people with higher cholesterol live longer. Imagine that. If you understand how the body uses cholesterol and what it's for, that's a no-brainer. You would never. And when I worked in the hospital, of course, like I'm 54 years ago, a healthy cholesterol then was 300. And I can tell you what happened and why we're looking today at, 110 and 150. And I don't know, did we talk about this on the last show when you guys were here?
We didn't.
Well, this is a real interesting, you'll love this. So I was on this cancer research team, and this is 50 years ago, and we were testing a medication that was going to come on the market for cancer. It was a cancer drug, and we were testing this drug, and what ended up happening, the results from all the testing that we did, what it did was it lowered cholesterol by 50%. It did nothing for cancer, but it lowered cholesterol by 50%. So what they did was they thought, well, we got a wonder drug here, right? So they cut the cholesterol numbers in half so that people would buy the cholesterol lowering drug and doctors could start prescribing it. That's a true story. That is how it came about. And, we just buy it, right? That's our problem. We buy everything we hear, and it's like you need to stop a minute and start doing some logical thinking, right? Critical thinking, I think they call it now, right? That's what the young people call it. You have to. I mean, when you understand how your body needs cholesterol, you would never drop your cholesterol in half. Not if you want to have a brain.
Or an immune system.
Yeah, or an immune system. And because that cholesterol locks down those poisons and toxins, we probably, truth be known, probably need more cholesterol now than we ever did because there are so many toxins and poisons. And when you don't have that cholesterol to capture those and it actually locks them down like in a cocoon, it puts a cocoon of fat. And that's why you need that. And that doesn't let it get into the blood cells. Now, when fat gets in this toxins get in the blood cell, then guess what happens? The blood cells get sick. And we call it cancer. And it's a disorder. That's what it is, because the cell can't stay functional or in its sequencing of working when it doesn't have the nutrients and when it's being bombarded with these poisons and toxins, and literally poisons the cell. And when you poison the cells, 1 makes 2, 2 makes 4, 4 makes 8. That's how it all grows. So
that was actually the other theme of the conference we were at last weekend.
I
Was
should have
all
been there.
about you
Yeah,
should
that
have
was
been
awesome.
there.
Let me
Yeah,
know
the
next
cook
time you're
was-
going to go to one.
Oh, I think
The-
that was the last one they're going to have for a while, unfortunately.
The other half was all about cholesterol and is it a primary factor in cardiovascular disease? And
Tell us
there's a
more.
lot of talk about, there's a study that is ongoing, but they've published a couple reports on it, and they're following a group of people that are very metabolically healthy. That term keeps popping up. But this group of people has LDL cholesterol, what your doctor likely calls bad cholesterol. Their LDL is oftentimes 500 or higher, and your doctor probably wants your LDL below 70. Their LDL can be 500, 600, 700.
That is insane.
And they've been this way for years.
Wow.
And guess what? Many of them have 0 plaque in their arteries, which ultimately is what is causing that's the definition of cardiovascular disease. So if these people who are metabolically healthy and have astronomically high rates of LDL but no plaque, what does that suggest? Maybe the LDL cholesterol is not the primary culprit, and it's something else.
Yep,
Metabolic
we need to
health.
reevaluate our narrative and our
Right.
thought process.
Well, and it has again, like Vicki said, call it 300 years ago or whatever, right? And then you get that magic number. What was that, big pharma, in there going to the doctors? Well, hey, because we've made these pills, let's get them down, because it's interesting. I mean, I'm religious of having a physical once a year, and my cholesterol came higher than what I would call mentally, what I would think it would be. And my doctor's like, Mike, it's a number. I'm not worried about it. Don't even stress on
Good
it. I'll
doctor.
tell you when it
Good
is.
doctor.
But that's not. But again, you were how many doctors said, well, here, let me just throw you on a pill, right? And then they
Pill
put
for
you on.
Now,
and,
I would recommend for my clients, I would suggest they ask their doctor about we now have imaging of what's actually going on in your arteries. So that's
So-
the best way to be cautious and be safe. And
Interesting you say that. When you buy our water system and put it in your home, we give every client, it's a whole group of coupons worth $7,000. Our systems aren't even half of that, hardly. But what in that package of coupons, you get for your whole family free heart scans, and they're biothermal scans, and it actually will give you a picture of the inside, all the inside of the heart and the outside, and a full report, and show you if you have that buildup that we're talking about. And that's the picture you want to see. You want to see it in a picture, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. We got to go to another break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're back, and time is just flying, and we want to talk a little bit more about the scan that we were just talking about. This is a company that actually a caller called in a couple weeks ago and said they had went down there, and they thought it might be a scam. It's definitely not a scam. What the deal was is they didn't have a CT tech to do that scan, so they can't do it if they don't have the right person to do it. But they are down in Phoenix on the north end, and we love them. They will scan your whole body, but when you, like I said, when you buy our system, and it only takes 3 minutes is all it takes, but you get these scans for your whole family for free. So if you got 5 kids or your sister lives with you in the same household, you all can get it. And I just love stuff like that. There's no guesswork. It shows you the interior of the veins, the exterior of the veins, the whole heart. It's fascinating.
I would pay the cost of one of Vicki's water systems just for the scans, and then I get the water system for free.
Yes, that's pretty much the truth, because just 2 of those is $3,000. So if there's 4 of you, it's $4,500. But another thing we do is we work with Dr. Ammon, who's Ammon Clinics. And by the way, that clinic that I'm talking about is all over the whole country. So you can go anywhere and get these heart scans that we're talking about. And Dr. Ammon, he's a big internet doctor, and he does brain scans. And oh my word. And he'll do the outside and underside of the brain. And then you get a full report on that too. And you get $1,500 off that scan when you want it for every person in your family.
Does he offer like an interpretation of the scan?
Oh, you get 2 consultations with the doctor after you get the scan. And they will tell you, that here's your options. And I have several brains in my office.
Brains? All right.
Mrs. Halloween?
It all depends which day you're on, and you just change your brains out?
The brain is very amazing. I could tell you so many stories about that. It's very amazing, but you can't believe the difference in what a brain looks like when somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's, or somebody's been on drugs or alcohol. Talk about depression. It is insane. And I actually saw a brain, and it's a local person. I won't mention their name, but this was very interesting. You know how when you're born you have that soft spot in your head, right? Mm-hmm. And that's to help you get through the birth canal. This person's soft spot never closed.
Oh, weird.
Never. So when they did the brain scan, there was a hole in the top of his head in the brain, which blew them away. They did the scan, and it blew them away.
How
They
old
said,
was this gentleman?
82 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And they had never saw that before. They said, we've never saw that.
It's amazing that he never like bumped his head there.
It's
years of
right
life,
on the
You're
on the
right.
top of his head, right?
Wow.
So I had to make a joke, and I said, well, that's probably because you get so mad the steam has to escape somewhere, so it just blowed the hole right through the top of your head.
You blew a gasket.
But you would never think you could go around with a big hole in your brain, but you can, and no problem. He has no brain issues whatsoever.
So the hole was in his skull, though, not his brain.
It's in the skull, right in the top of the skull. But they call it a brain scan, and it actually shows you the skull, and so we saw the picture of it, which was really cool.
The human body is fascinating. I mean, we never stop learning and being amazed by what our bodies can do.
Underestimate the power of our body and the brain. The brain that's your pharmacy. I want to say we're not doctors here, so we're not telling you what to do. We're educators. We're just sharing information with you. Do your own homework. Do your own research. And I think I shared a couple weeks ago, one of the places I love is the New England Journal of Medicine is great. And also I love academia. Have you guys ever been on that site?
I don't believe so.
Oh, you
will
will
get
get lost in that one. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of papers that researchers write and submit. Doctors, all kinds of educators, scientists. It's quite fascinating. And the other one I love, it's called PubMed. That's PUBMED. I love that one too. Those are fantastic research sites to go look up anything and find answers that you probably won't hear just anywhere.
I will say just a word of caution. Don't take the headline at face value. You always have to read the whole study.
Yeah.
Alex actually came across a study recently where the headline completely contradicted what it said in the discussion and conclusion. So you do have to just dig into it. You can't
You
just
do.
quickly
Yeah.
scan it and be like, oh, I know now.
Right. That's just to capture you to get you to read
Right.
it. Right.
Clickbait in a way.
That's exactly what it is.
So Vicki, real quick though,
Go ahead.
just because we are senior in the know,
Right,
right?
right.
So I was with the amazing County Supervisor Chris Kuknio, if you're out there, District 4, because we are the best district. But he wanted me to just bring up on the seniors know that if Yavapai County has and it's free, and it's called Eagle Fraud Guard. And the website is web.recorder@yavapaiaz.gov. But you can go in there and you can load like probably your name and all that information. But if somebody's searching your name, your trust, I think your title, whatever, it'll give you an alert. So
Right.
there's a lot of fraud going. I know you had a show a couple weeks ago about fraud. And Chris said he'd listened to it, and he said, hey, you might want to bring this up real quick. But again, there's zero cost. Yavapai's built this program for us out here, so everybody might want to look
Yeah.
at it. It's Eagle
Leslie Hoffman
Fraud Guard.
was involved in getting that through, and that is a fantastic resource. Definitely go on there, and that lets you know if anybody's tampering or has tampered with your title to your property. So
Right.
I need to-
We better get you guys his phone number again.
yeah, let's
and
get your phone on there one more
website.
time.
Yeah. So our phone number is 920-215-0305. And
And
our website is highenergylife.com, and that's HI Energy Life.
And tell them again what you do.
Yes, so we're independent researchers, but we're also nutrition coaches. So we help you cook real whole food, which sounds simple on paper, but when it comes to actually implementing that, there can be some barriers that come up with real life. So we help you work through kind of the life logistics of eating healthy.
So you actually consult with people and help them with the healthier eating.
Yes, and we meet on a weekly basis or as often as you would like. And if you're open to it, we are even happy to come to your home and go do a pantry walkthrough with you.
Yep, just
And
last week we did some
ultimately-
cooking lessons with a client in her home.
That's great.
So,
Ultimately, we focus on making you feel amazing or helping you feel amazing. But we do also recognize that in our current environment, many and even most adults have a weight loss goal. And so that is something that we do specialize in. And so most of our clients, we don't have a magic weight loss pill. Even the weight loss pills out there are not magic. There are lots of side effects that don't come with real food. But it's not a magic weight loss pill, but we find most of our clients do lose a very steady 1/2 pound, 1 pound a week until they reach and are able to maintain their goals.
it's very sustainable. And on top of that, they see a lot of other benefits to their health aside from just their weight loss.
Of course.
And you're local, right?
Yes, we're here in
Good.
Prescott.
You're in
Our
Prescott.
program is set up to be online, but like Alex mentioned, we're happy to start doing more in-person stuff. So if that's something that interests you,
It
please
sounds
reach
like
out.
we may host some coaching over at the H2O
You
store.
are
Yeah.
going to. I have so many clients that say, I wish I could just find somebody that would cook for me. So if you guys start cooking, I guarantee you'll be busier than you know how to be. And teaching people how to do this because that's what it's all about. You know,
Yeah,
garbage in, garbage out. Good stuff in, good stuff out, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're down to 10 seconds,
We
Vicki.
got to go.
The
We
show was
gotta say
quick.
Goodbye, I know. But
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
guys
us.
for coming
So
in
much.
again. It was great. And thank you, Cowboy Mike,
Thank
for
you,
taking
everybody.
time to come in and talk. So we'll be back next week, everybody. Say bye.
See you guys, everybody. Thank you.
I'm Vicki Johnston, and I am here with my good friend and co-host that helps me with my podcast, radio shows, Cowboy Mike.
Hey, everybody. How are you? Hey, Vicki.
Hey, glad to have you come in on this beautiful day, and we're going to talk about food.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How about water, too, though?
You talk about water.
I love water.
Water is great, and you got your little books there. I love your
Got
little
our books. I know the best part is if you want to learn about water, you can buy my book, right? And it's Cowboy Mike and Winston about water. And guess what? There's the stars actually here on the show, Vicki Johnston. So she basically helped me write the book, and it's all about getting clean water for Winston and I at the ranch. So it's a fun, cute children's story. The best part is all my books are seven of them, and it's under Michael Eastwood, the Cowboy Mike and Winston book series on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and 100% of all proceeds goes to Pony for Precious to charity.
And you got one on Prescott, too.
And we have one on Prescott, too. And then, of course, we have ones about the ranch and everything else. But the fun part, like I said, the water book is we're hoping to get those on all the children so they learn about clean, healthy water.
Gotcha. So we're going to talk today just a little bit about food.
Okay.
We all need it, right?
We need it.
We all like it,
Yes.
right? And it's a very pleasurable experience to eat, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But now a lot of people eat on the run. They don't eat with somebody. Do you know it's important to eat with somebody? Because when you're eating with someone, you actually will get more benefit from your food than if you eat alone. Isn't that interesting? It's crazy, but it's true.
Probably because
So-
you're having a conversation, so then you're not.
You're relaxed.
Yeah, you're not rushing eating, right? Or just,
Right? You're not stressed. And I remember years and years and years ago, they said, chew your food 10 times. Now they say chew it 20 times before you swallow it so that the saliva gets mixed in and the enzymes that you need to have in your gut to help break down that food. And one of the things I'll just share quick on this show is that, we all brush our teeth, right? And we use toothpaste. And if you look at the label on the toothpaste, you will change your toothpaste. You need to find a healthier option. Water is a great option because water's a solvent, right? But you could use baking soda. I wouldn't scrub, and use. You don't need a lot, right? But the deal is this. Your mouth is full of bacteria. Trillions and trillions of bacteria live in our mouth. It's crazy. But the gut needs that bacteria. And this is why people's biodome is so messed up now, because we're not swallowing all this good stuff that our mouth is making, and it collects on our teeth. And when we brush our teeth, we spit it out. What you need to do is brush your teeth and swallow it to get that good bacteria into your gut. That's why our guts are really out of balance today. So we're going to talk about some foods that help. And yes, I said swallow it. Brush, 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 swallow. Brush, 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 swallow. That's why water's great. And you could use a healthy toothpaste. Just find one that you can swallow that's non-toxic.
Don't they sell one down at the store?
We sell several down at the store, and we have a rinse, too, that you can rinse because, mouthwash says it kills 99.9% of the bacteria and germs. Duh, mistake. You need that. Get rid of that
Right,
poison.
it's killing everything that you needed good.
It's right. It's working against you. But we have a mouth rinse down there, and you put it in your mouth, rinse, 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 and you swallow it. And it takes all that good gut bacteria to the gut. So I brought some fun stuff today.
You did.
I did. And this poor pineapple doesn't look really good. He's set just a tad bit long. He don't look real good.
He was sunbathing with his sunglasses on and decided to dehydrate a little,
But I love to talk about food because people don't understand why food even matters, right? Food's food, right? It doesn't matter what's the difference if it's a pineapple or a chip, right?
Right.
But there's nutrients is the difference, of course. So when you're looking at pineapples, the interesting thing about a pineapple is it used to be called a pain apple. That was its original name. You know why?
Took away pain?
It took away pain. The core in the pineapple is full of bromelain. Excellent. And what do we do to the core?
Throw it away.
We throw it away. We throw away the best part of the whole
You
thing.
cut it out right, and then you cut it pieces and throw the
Right.
center away.
So what you should do is cut that core out, throw it in a blender, blend it up, put a little water in it, and freeze it. And then when you have a headache, and you can freeze it, in something small, so you can have small. I like to take stuff like that, and I'll put it in a zippy bag, and I'll make it flat. And so it's real flat and thin like this. And then you can break it apart. And then you could just put chunks of that in your mouth when you've got a headache or any kind of pain. And that's where a lot of the pain medications actually come from, is the core of the pineapple, because that is what it's exactly for. So the other thing about a pineapple, when you buy one, and this one I'm sure will work real good, they're always hard as a rock, right?
Right.
Because you pick them green. You pick everything green. So you're like, is it ripe? Isn't it ripe? So you take one of these little leaves coming out of here and you just pull on it. And if it pulls right out, this one is not.
You're going to pull the whole head off, I
think this guy's just about needs to get planted. You can plant this in the ground. It will grow too.
Oh, very interesting.
It will. You can plant it in a pot just like that, and this one's really ready because it's already deteriorating inside. But that should pull right out. If it's ripe, that'll pull right out.
So when you're at the store,
right,
and because it's like anything, right? It's my watermelon, right? And you're thumping them or whatever it is. So grab the pineapple, grab a leaf, and if it doesn't pull, it's still green.
It's green.
And if one comes out, then you know it'd be ready.
Right. So if you buy it green, take it home and wait till that leaf will pull out, and then you know it's ready to eat it. So we let this one get a little too
right. But
too
that's
ripe.
a great tip, because I never knew that, right? You just kind of go, and then you cut it open and you go, well, it just wasn't ripe, right? Or it was way too ripe.
And they're expensive, so you don't want to throw them away. So that's how you know it's ready to eat. And all of that pineapple is so good for you. And like I said, don't throw away that core. That's where the good stuff is. So here's another interesting food. And somebody brought me these. And these are delicious, just delicious. And they came from Phoenix, and they're super fresh. But, when you peel this guy, most people peel off that white stuff, and that's called pith. That's what it's called, pith, this white stuff. That's the pith. So when you peel this, just get the yellow stuff off. Leave that white stuff and eat it. That is the healthiest part of this food, is that white stuff, that pith. Have you ever ate it? Nobody eats it.
Probably not. I mean,
No.
I don't know, because I think on grapefruit, right, you cut them anyways, and then you cut them around, and you make the little squares. And
you scoop it out with a spoon,
right.
and you never eat that. And same is true with the orange, a lemon, a lime. This is where the closer to the outside is where the most nutrients are. And we just are constantly throwing it away. Same is true with a watermelon. So you should just peel out that outer green layer and eat that white covering around the watermelon. And if you make watermelon juice, it's delicious. But that's where the most nutrients is. Isn't that interesting? So another thing I like to share is this. When I buy spices, I like them like this instead of this. Now, I buy both because you can't get them all like that. But I love organic, and so I always buy organic. But you got to spice up your life, and spices will really do that for you. But I like them like this because these probably are not near as old as these, and I really like these when they are cinnamon sticks, because it's an actual stick. That's real cinnamon. The stuff you buy in the store that's in the bottle that you think is ground cinnamon, it's probably cardboard dust with cinnamon oil in it. That's what it's made out of. So you want to make sure you're buying those real sticks of cinnamon, and and these are in all the grocery stores. Everybody's got them. Even Walmart's got these. But buy them like this because they're usually fresher, and buy all kinds of them. This guy right here, cloves. There's a lot of talk right now about cloves on the internet. These are awesome, and you can see these these are the little flowering buds that's on the plant. And see that little round part at the end? That is great for a toothache. This will actually numb your tooth. So if you have a toothache, you just put one of these just one little section in your mouth and bite on it, and it releases this numbing natural ingredient that numbs your teeth and helps a toothache or any kind of mouth thing. So I make tea out of these too. So this is my little jar right here. I tried, when I get home with these, I always take them out of the package and I put them in jars. I don't like the plastic, but that's how they come. So that's how we get them, right? So I have this little jar right in my kitchen, and I just take these. You want to try one, Mike?
No, I'm good.
They're really interesting. There's so many benefits of spices. In fact, if you guys want to sharpen up your pencil, this is one of them right here. This is awesome. It's amazing what this does for you. But see, here's the little bud, and this little part right here is what actually creates that numbing effect that we're talking about. But you can just take 2 or 3 of these, put them in a cup, and put boiling hot water on them, cover it, and let it sit for 10 minutes. And it makes clove tea, and it tastes really good. You can put a little honey in it if you like. And if you buy honey, always buy organic, homegrown honey. You want honey from the area you live in, not from somewhere else. And now a lot of the honeys that you buy in the store, they're not even real honey. They're not honey at all. They're a sticky, gooey thing that somebody's produced in a manufacturing plant. So we want to make sure we're eating real food.
Well, and I think with the honey, right, if you have allergies and you start using honey regularly is what I've heard. I don't know if it's a wives' tale or not, right? But you're buying from
right.
the local.
You're right.
It can actually help you with your allergies because your bodies will start building those.
The antigens. That's exactly right. So here's another food that's excellent, excellent, excellent. And pepper, black pepper, red pepper, these are all excellent to kill parasites. Excellent for you. And I use this a lot. Now, this one isn't organic, but I brought it because what I love to do with this, and I do this at Christmas, and it is kind of hard to find these organic, but it is non-GMO, and that's my other stamp I love. See that one right there? Yep. Yeah, that's the one. At least it's this. But I'll take this, and I take a good brand of oil, olive oil usually, a really good brand, and you just take all these leaves, these from the pepper, put it in the olive oil, cap it, and let it sit for about 48 hours or more, and you'll have the most wonderful oil for your salads. And you just pour that oil all over, and this flavor of the red pepper gets into that oil, and now you've got a really nutritious salad. So excellent. This
Very
is
nice.
excellent for colds and flus, and it helps your immune system, but this stuff is excellent. Pepper's excellent.
Well, and if you go down to the H2O health store, right?
Right.
And you get a biofeedback, and you were saying about 50% of the people have parasites, then could they start drinking, like you say, using that? Or I know you probably have a product down there too, right, that you use.
And yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you want to do. And so with this, when you make the oil, you could take a spoonful of the oil. But if you get on this stuff and use it regularly, you won't get parasites.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't have it then, right?
That's right. That's the key, right? Try not to get them. Try to make sure you don't get them. So here's another product that I bought. This one is flax seeds. Now, back in the day, do you know what they used flax seeds for back in the day? They made oil for machines with it. That's what they originally did with flax seeds. They just made oil. And, of course, you can see they're tiny, teeny little seeds. And your body cannot break these down. Cannot. Any kind of a seed. Chia seeds the same way. I had a man in my store yesterday, and he said, man, somebody told me to eat chia seeds, and he said, I'm plugged up because he didn't soak them. So with any kind of seeds, and even pumpkin seeds, even nuts, you can soak them. If you'll soak them, the body will break them down. Nuts you can chew with your teeth, but these you can't. They're just too small. Right. But
what do you soak them? 48 hours, 24, 10 minutes?
Amazing overnight. If I took that amount right there of chia seeds and I filled this up with water, in the morning this would be full. And I'd still need more water. So if I were going to use this container, I'd probably only put about this much in here, about just a small amount. Fill it with water, and you can make the most delicious desserts with this you can imagine. Because it makes it's almost like a gelatinous, like a Jell-O sort of, but it's not quite that firm. So it's more like a pudding. But you could then take this and you could add some great yogurt to it, or you could add some, I like kefir, the liquid, and they make a blueberry and they make a strawberry. And it makes a nice little healthy dessert. That would be great for you. And you could do the same with these guys too. But you need to soak them. Pumpkin seeds, any of those kind of seeds, you need to soak. Sesame seeds, any kind of seeds, because you're not going to break them down. So let's talk a few minutes about...
No, there's a good one, though, right? Now think about, especially as a kid, we used to eat sunflower seeds everywhere.
Yep.
Right? I mean, baseball players, if you ever go to a major league game and you could peek down in the dugout, right, there's a billion sunflower seeds. They're all chewing it. So I guess they went away from chew and they eat the sunflower seeds. But really, they should be soaked.
It's better. They'll digest quicker and you'll get more nutrients from them if you do soak them.
Right.
And pumpkin seeds, I will say, and sunflower seeds are actually really excellent, especially for men. They help the prostate amazingly, and the bladder. Excellent for women and men for the bladder. And if you'll start doing, I soak them. I actually keep these. I love glass bottles. My husband says I should have a store. I have so many, but I keep these little glass bottles like this, and then I'll fill this up about half full of any of these seeds, and then I'll buy a really good pomegranate or cherry juice or organic, no sugars, and then I'll pour that on this, put the lid on it, stick it in the fridge, and let it sit for a day or 2 or 3. 4 days, a week. You could leave it in there a week. And then I'll take it out, and then I'll make at night. This is one of the healthiest things I think you could do at night is for protein is cottage cheese. And buy the good stuff. Don't buy the cheap stuff. Buy the good Shamrock, good brands. And then I'll take that, and I pour that in the cottage cheese, the whole thing. And now it's nice and soft, and it breaks down. It'll help you sleep at night, the protein from the cottage cheese. This helps you keep from getting up all night long and peeing. I'm going to show that today in my class.
And which was that one again?
This one would be if you took this pumpkin seeds.
Oh, pumpkin seeds.
The
Gotcha.
pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are excellent for men, and that helps the prostate amazing. It's just amazing because it has all the nutrients that particular organ needs. That's why it works. So that I just love spices. This is nutmeg. Cinnamon is a natural blood cleanser. So when sometimes I'll make the clove tea, I'll put a little dash of cinnamon in it, the real stuff. But you need to have spices in every meal that you eat, whether it's salt, pepper, cinnamon, any of these. And this one here is one of my faves right here. This is turmeric. And I buy, as you can see, lots of it. And when you buy it in bulk, you can buy it so much more reasonable too. Right? And so this is turmeric, and you can make tea out of this too. And it is this color when you make it out of this. But this is great for inflammation. So this helps reduce inflammation. So you just you don't even need a whole spoon because it is strong. It's a very strong. And they make it in capsules. You can take it if you like, but liquids are the best. Because when you take a liquid, it goes right straight to the bloodstream here. Soon as it's in your mouth, it's going straight to the bloodstream. And that's how you want to absorb it. So it doesn't have to go through the digestive system and then get into the bloodstream. You'll get way more nutrients from it. That's why making soups and stews and all that when you're sick, chicken soup. That's why it's so good for you. And you want to get these spices in your diet because these are huge. Now, if you don't have time, to take protein and you need protein, I'm telling you, that's the number one thing seniors need. It's why you get weak. It's why you can't walk. It's why your bones fall apart. It's why your brain falls apart. It's why your blood falls apart. You got to have protein. And there's so many out there. People are always like, oh my gosh, which one do I buy? So this is the Brain MD doctor, who is Dr. Ammon down in Scottsdale. He's got a clinic. I think he's got 12 clinics now in the country. So what you want to look at is you look at the label. And this is very important. So we want to look at how many grams of protein are in this. Can you see it, Mike?
No, I can't.
22 grams.
For
right?
what, 8 ounces probably? I mean, probably for an 8-ounce
And
glass
that's
of water or something.
It's in a serving size, which is approximately 1 rounded scoop. And it says on the ingredients here, you mix 33 grams, approximately 1 rounded scoop with 8 to 10 ounces of water.
Yep, that makes
right?
sense.
Or milk, almond milk, coconut milk, or your favorite beverage. Right? So all you're going to do is put this in there,
It's
one
awesome
scoop.
with tequila.
Awesome. I don't know, I've never tried that. This is chocolate. I love chocolate. But so we look at that. Now, that's good. That's a nice high protein count. There's a few others, but that's pretty high. But then I'm going to go look at my carbohydrates. So it's only got 6 grams of carbs, and it's got 3 grams of fiber. So what the formula is you take the 6 grams of carbs minus the 3 grams of fiber. Now you only got 3 grams, right?
Right.
And we want that number to be as low as possible compared to the 22 grams of protein. So this is the right formula. So if that was higher than the protein, this would not be a good protein to have.
What about sugars? What's it saying there? Any?
So we don't care about the sugars, but this one says 0. Because when you get your proteins higher than your carbs, because that turned to sugar, the sugars won't matter. They really won't matter because the protein, in essence, kind of cancels out the effects of the sugar. It'll keep the sugars from spiking your glucose. That's what it does. So I actually wore a monitor if you go, like we were talking a little earlier about the metabolic doctors now, they put a little tiny, it's a teeny tiny little gadget like this. They stick it on the back of your arm. It connects to an app on your phone. And every time you eat, you see what your sugar levels do. So I tested this out while I had it for 2 weeks, and I tested lots of foods, and my sugar never spiked no matter what I ate. Didn't matter, because I kept the proteins way higher than the carbs and the fiber. The fiber also helps. So you want fiber. You need fiber, and we chatted about that a few weeks ago on our other show. Fiber doesn't break down in the body. It's not supposed to. That's not what fiber's for. Fiber is the scrub brush. Fiber goes in there and it scrubs the walls of your intestinal tract and all the way out to the through the colon. It keeps them nice and clean. And I know when John Wayne died, they said that his intestinal tract was the size of a pencil, tiny, teeny, and he was a huge meat eater, not a huge fiber eater. If he'd had fiber with that, he would never had that problem, and that's what killed him.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny too, right? Because if you think about, I don't know how long it's been out, right? 20 years, 30 years. But for seniors, right, what did the doctors, everybody was pushing, right, was the Ensure.
Meh.
Yeah. Look what's in it. But that's what they were pushing because they were getting protein in them. That's the big one. Now you got all these other companies out there, right? That makes them, and they're a little better for you and things like this. But they're out there, right? I mean, but it's still something's better than nothing, like you said, even if you had to go that route.
Well, we know so much more now than we did. And, with AI, they say information triples every 90 days. Triple. So we're kind of moving at lightning speed in information now. I think the next 5 years, you're going to see healthcare tremendously turn around in this country. I think you're going to see people start to wake up and realize there's foods and nutrients that can help the body heal itself rather than Band-Aids of prescriptions and this and that. And like I think, I'm not sure if we said on this show, but I think it was the last show we did, and the gentleman we had on said all drugs are is a Band-Aid. They're not curing anything. The body's the thing that has to cure. When you get the body in a healthy state and get that immune system kicked up, and the big thing, of course, is water. We are water. Your heart's about 83% water. Your lungs are about 83% water. Your blood is 90% water. Your eyes are 90% water. Your brain's about 85% water. How can you not think water doesn't matter? I mean, even your bones are about 35% water. And when your body starts leaching minerals out of your bones, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Right. Well, and take the weather we've had this week, right? It's gotten hot. I mean, to be March and we're 91, 92, you have to be drinking more water, right? That's right. As you get older, it's easy. I mean, I do about 1 cup of coffee a day, but it seems like in the weekends I'll do 2. But I make sure I drink more water too, right, to get in there. But you really have to do it. And that's where, the clean, healthy, fresh water is good. Again, I'm sitting here a component of H2O Health because I've had 2 systems. I know what the water's like. I test it. Everything's phenomenal in it. They're number 1 in Yavapai County. We got all these companies that are coming up here, or these small little plumbing companies. Why wouldn't you go to the expert, the best company in Yavapai County to buy your system? And it just gets me where you'll see these people buying these other ones and they don't work. Or and I hate to say they don't work, they'll do something, but they're not the system that H2L Health has. And make sure when you're talking, because like I said, I took 6 months and I met with everybody and I dug into it, and I love to boot spreadsheets, and I built things and everything else. And by far, Vicki's unit was the best unit out there.
Well, and I can tell you why. There's a real serious reason why. When we build these systems, we buy the best parts and the best medias that we can get our hands on. And that's what people don't realize. It's just like everything else. There's cheap and there's quality. And if you want it to last, it's got to be quality. So what most water systems have in them is something that's called GAC, G-A-C. That's granulated activated carbon. That's the cheapest media out in the market. And most of it's made in China. And I have a box in my store that we actually show our clients, and you cannot believe it when you look at it. I mean, there's bird feathers in it because they take all this refused stuff and throw it in here, and they grind it all up and put it in these medias as a filler, just like they do vitamins. That's why vitamins from that place is not real great, right? So, but we use something very different. And the problem with GAC, or this granulated active carbon, in 1 year, usually it's shot. It's shot because of all the toxins and all the chlorine and chloramines. Chlorine and chloramines will deteriorate that media very quickly. That's why if you have it under the sink system, you got to replace those little filters every 2 or 3 months, right? But what we use is something totally different. And when I say it is the best media out there, it's the best. And yep, it costs more. And even our parts that we buy are the best. So we actually use several different medias. And one thing we do, Mike, as you well know, then rather than everybody else, one size doesn't fit all. So when you're on a well, like you, we did a well test.
Right.
And
Built me a different system.
Yep, we built you a water system for what's in your water. And that's what matters.
And that's the big thing you got to look at. And that's what I found, because a lot of these guys are built out of Minnesota or Michigan or whatever, and everybody orders them. Again, your units are even built in Arizona.
That's right.
But the other thing where H2O Health, Vicki, the company, right, is when all of a sudden PFAS and PFOS started coming up, what did she do? She changed her system to take it out. Everybody else doesn't do that, right? These guys have come in and said, whoa, so she's always looking at the newest thing that's coming in water to change her system. And then what's great about their company is you have one 2, 3 years old, but maybe you didn't have the PFOS. They're doing a deal for you for, what's it, a trade in, trade up.
Right.
These other ones don't do it. They just want to send you a new system.
Yep. We can trade. We right now we're taking in any system anybody's got. Doesn't matter who made it. Doesn't matter what it is. RO. We don't care.
So I can be Mike Eastwood's water company. We'll call her system or whatever, and you'll take it.
Yep. Doesn't matter. And we'll take that in as a trade up, because what we're trying to do is get people water, clean, healthy water. And there is a difference in clean water and healthy water. And that's where we come in too with these medias and these different things we put in this tank. So we can actually increase the hydrogen, increase the oxygen. When we increase those two things, everything changes.
Well, and you keep all the minerals.
And we keep all the naturally occurring minerals. We're not putting them back in. We're keeping them intact. And that's very important with water.
Right.
Yeah. Very interesting. I love talking about water.
Right. And what is H2O? H2OHealth.com?
H2OHealth.com, and our store is in the Pine Ridge Marketplace in Prescott, Arizona here, and it's open Tuesday through Friday, but we're going to start opening Mondays. We've gotten so busy, and we've hired a whole bunch of new staff to help us keep up with all the action going on down there, but we're there all the time, and, we're open on Saturdays, and we do classes on Saturdays. So if you liked what you learned today on this, you want to learn a whole lot more, if you'll come to our classes, they're at 1 to 2:30 in the afternoon on every Saturday. And I'm usually the teacher. Sometimes we have little special guest speakers, but we cover a lot of different subjects. I teach 16 different classes.
And what's the phone number in case they want to call in, make sure there's room?
928-899-7504. And it's health.com.
Yeah, H2O Health.
Right, like water, H2O.
Water.
Right.
All
So
right.
we'll be back next time. Bye, Mike.
See you, everybody. Thank you.